What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's not going to be your normal Fallout of Friday today. Today, due to popular and incessant demand, Michael is going to reveal himself. I am embarrassed to report that I do not have his Orville Peck mask ready for him. His Batman mask and Gladiator mask also not ready, so prepare yourself. He is going to reveal himself to the world. Hopefully his life isn't destroyed by the paparazzi. Having said all that, I originally told him that today's episode would be about him asking the questions on Full Auto Friday, since he has been in the room for so many episodes. And he completely and utterly misunderstood what I said and came unprepared. So in the vein of taking complete and extreme ownership, it was totally his fault, and I blame him for that. Because there are no bad leaders, only bad teams, and you need to remember that. So essentially, this episode became Andy versus Michael, round one. And I bet you know how it played itself out. Let's get into it. Enjoy.
Okay, got the red smoke. Gun run, north and south, west of the smoke, west of the smoke. Okay, copy, west of the smoke. I'm looking at danger close now. Come on with it, baby, give it to me, I need it. Get cleared hot. Copy, cleared hot.
Okay, so
Here we are, fuckface.
technically wasn't prepared because I thought I would be asking.
What would be another way to describe that? Other than technically you weren't prepared. How about you were completely, wholly unprepared? It's not a matter of technicality. You are just not prepared.
This is, let's not get into the semantics of who is prepared or not.
We don't need to. I was, and you were not.
Okay.
I get questions all the time about who is Michael.
Uh-huh.
So I figured for one short Friday episode, you can, one, introduce yourself, and two, you can ask whatever questions you want. Because we've been doing this shit together for a couple of years now, and you never offer anything useful to the conversation. And you sit over there and listen.
Okay.
I can replace you with a fucking blow-up doll if the fucking blow-up doll's fingers actually.
How about the who is the holds the power in the cucking situation? I had pretty good input on that.
You did have good input. Here's some insight into the emails I get. I'm gonna pull it up.
Okay, go for it.
From emails from
Cuck.
bulls. Emails from bulls.
Oh, no way. Seriously?
Dude, hold on.
Oh.
Let me see if I can find this. Do this real time.
I also had good input on the would you rather suck 10 dicks or one dick 10 times or 10 dicks one time.
Yeah, you wanted to commit.
To one person.
Yeah, because you're gay. The power dynamics of the cuck. Dearest Andy. I added the dearest part for comedic effect.
Classic. Okay.
I have been in the position to be a bull on multiple occasions.
No way.
From my experiences, I've noticed that the power seems to change depending on the scenario. So this could be a floating situation. This could be a moving target, if you will. Example 1 of 3 he provided. I was asked by a close friend of mine to have sex with his wife while he watched. At the time of him asking me, he made it clear she did not know, but would go along with it if he told her to. Not his exact words, but to that effect. He was also very much into the whole tying girls up dominatrix thing, so that made me believe he was in control. And it was almost the act of humiliating her that he enjoyed. As their daughter and mine were friends and not random strangers, I declined multiple times. Example 2. I met a very attractive girl on Tinder who invited me around for drinks. When I arrived, she was in lingerie and no drinks were had. She took me to the bedroom and just before going inside said her partner, I can't recall if they were married or not, was going to simply watch. At first I thought she was joking, but when we went in there he was, pre-seated in his cuck chair. At this point, it was obviously decision time, and as an ex-grunt, I have jacked off inside many a porta potty, so I'm not about to let some cuck throw me off my game.
Literally some cuck.
He literally said nothing the whole time while she screamed out and put on a show.
Wow.
The disturbing part came after I finished. Unless you request, I will exclude these details for now.
Oh, no.
Clearly, she was in power here is all I can say. Example 3. I was dating a girl, let's call her Casey. It's her real name, but like she's ever going to see or hear anything that you may reference. Anyway, her daddy issues had led her to believe that all men cheat. Keep in mind, this girl was a true 10 out of 10. Would be home in any men's magazine. Her solution to said problem was seeing that I was going to eventually cheat on her. She'd rather be in on it while she was present. So you could say she was cucking herself. Everything in my brain told me this was a trap until one day at brunch, one day she brought one of her friends over and actually forced her friend onto me. This happened another 2 times, one with a different friend. Now, originally I thought I was unknowingly in charge as the bull, but later overhearing conversations she had with that same and other friends about how great I was made me feel like I had just lent my mate my brand new truck to show off, and he show off what I had, and he didn't. I don't know what the fuck that last sentence is all about. Bottom line, here's the deal. These are the emails that I get. There's no solid answer to the cucking question. It obviously changed. This is firsthand experience.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Unless he's lying.
What would you do if you met a woman on Tinder? She answered the door in lingerie, and right before you went into a bedroom, she informed you that there was going to be somebody in there watching. What would you do?
I don't know. I don't think I could do it, honestly. Like, I'd be like, oh.
Performance anxiety?
I guess.
Shy?
Yeah, I mean, only because there's another person in the room other than us two, you know? If it was
what if you just wanted to put a video camera in there that was live streaming to the TV in the living room? Would you be okay with that?
Okay, I guess it would depend on how attractive she was.
11 out of 10.
Then I would definitely consider it. Okay, well,
Fair enough.
That's good insight, I guess. So I guess it changes.
Is it good insight? Is our life enhanced or changed in any way because of said insight?
Well, no, I will never use that information.
I will in conversations going forward to
Right.
be able to explain the true power dynamic of a cucking situation.
Right, but I'll never use it practically, you know.
Well, you're like 22 years old.
That's true. Never say never.
Never say never. What is dating like at your age these days? Do you go on dating apps?
I have had Tinder in the past. I'm trying to think.
What'd you use as your profile picture?
Me in a banana hammock.
Strong. It's very Craig Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mustache.
Yeah. Mustache rides. Okay.
Free.
How is the Tinder scene here in Kalispell?
I would say
It's like the hostess at Applebee's up the road.
pretty much, yeah. There are how do I put this politely?
Why?
Yeah, you're right.
Let's just spit it out there.
There are very few attractive people on
Okay.
Tinder. And I think
Never been on the app. I don't even know how that fucking thing works.
So I've never actually met up with anybody on Tinder. I've always done it as a let's just see who I match with. Like, oh, me and this attractive girl matched. Okay, great. She finds me attractive. Cool.
Do you enjoy wasting your time? Like, what's the exercise here?
Oh, no, it's a huge time sink, you know.
Okay.
I don't have it right now, and I don't really want to get it again.
Where does one go to find a partner in the valley? Like Murdoch's?
Western Building Center.
Murdoch's, for those listening, is like a
Cowboy store.
fee store, I guess.
Yeah. That's where I got my boots, actually, yesterday.
Yeah, you look real good. They're super hetero.
No, I don't know. I've kind of, this sounds corny because I'm only 23. I've kind of given up right now. I'm just not even.
What?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's just the effort is not worth it at the moment.
That's sad.
Yeah, well, you know a little bit, but
Yeah.
I've had just poor experiences. And I keep telling myself, well, you're only 23. So it's like, eventually there's bound to be somebody that will be a good person.
Have you considered you just don't have anything to offer someone?
Yeah, no, I've considered that. And
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I'm just such a terrible human being.
I'm not a betting man, but I'd put some money on that.
But yeah, I mean,
You know what's wild is I was married by the time I was your age. I got married when I was 23 years old, and if I could go back in time, I would sit down and talk with myself and just try to convince myself to slow down and wait until I was older. And I know that there are marriages that have lasted when people get married at that age, but I don't fucking recognize myself when I was 33,
Yeah.
let alone 23. I was a retard.
yeah. Well, then that's what kind of some of the thoughts that go through my head too is like,
That you're a retard?
well, I don't do retards know that they're retards.
Fuck.
I've thought about that a lot. Like
Now
if-
I'm going to too.
Yeah. Like, so I love autistic people. Okay. I've
You
met,
love autistic people?
yes.
You like their
As-
antisocial personality traits?
No, I've met. So my brother actually, when he was in grade school, had a really good friend who was, I would say, medium autism. He had the tism like medium.
Okay, but you understand there's a difference between autism and being a retard.
Okay.
Are you not aware of this?
Well, I thought retard covered all mental spectrums.
Where did you get that idea?
The internet.
Your search browser history is probably fucking terrifying. No, mental retardation, I believe, is something specific,
Okay.
right? Like Down syndrome, from my understanding. I'm going to go out here on a limb and just let people know right up front. I'm not a medical expert on any of these things.
Nor
I'm
am
talking completely out of my ass here. I believe that they are categorized out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who was telling me, or what did I read about autism for? Who's the guy who started Microsoft?
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates. From my understanding, he has autism, but is a highly functioning autism. And a lot of people who are successful, from my understanding, in some of those tech industries are like that. It gives them ability to just crush out certain aspects,
Yeah.
but from a social perspective, I guess it could be described as being a little bit awkward.
Mm-hmm. I heard a really interesting theory that autism is
Don't say fluoride in the water. Fuck
No,
Alex Jones.
that autism is like could be seen as an evolutionary advantage because
Not at a cocktail party.
not at a cocktail party. However, in today's society, the evolutionary pressures are completely different from even 100 years ago.
What are you talking about?
Like, you don't have to be like a typical survival person to survive.
Yeah, you didn't have to be like that 100 years ago either.
Okay, well, let's say 300 years ago, 400 years ago.
Okay, now we're talking.
Okay. So, to reproduce, you do not have to have, your typical, like, manliness, let's call it,
You're into some weird shit. I don't know where this conversation's going. Reproduction requires the same two components, a man and a woman.
Right. But what I'm saying is, you don't have to
You don't have
survive.
To go out, you don't have to go out and ford a river and then chop
Yes.
down a forest and
To-
build a house to entice
Yeah.
or woo a woman to come into your...
Or now you'll survive a lot longer without the same strength, intelligence, because we have, safety, which I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with safety nets, but that allows for more people to reproduce.
So what you're saying is the soft-ass bitches are out there reproducing at the same level that other than soft-ass bitches
Yes.
would have 400
Yes.
years ago. I could see that.
Have you seen
How does autism help in that?
so like the Bill Gates and
Have you ever seen a video of him dancing at one of their product releases?
yeah, it's so
Fuck
funny.
me. First off, I don't dance, but if I did, I would dance better than that.
Yes. Indeed.
Have you ever seen any videos of the blind long jump? I'm not so sure necessarily how those two tie together, but one reminded me of the other. They run and jump into the sand, except for when they miss.
Because of
Here's a question:
Slight impairment.
how do you see the sand, let alone the line that you're supposed to like? Do they just get rid of fouls? Like wherever you jump, you jump.
I would guess they practice counting their steps.
Maybe hit
And
the
then-
space bar on the computer so it
Yeah.
illuminates your face. I want people to see you, so they can track you down on the street,
Yeah.
slap you around a little bit.
What portion do you think of the Flathead Valley, what percentage do you think listens to this podcast?
0.0%.
That's kind of,
Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah. There are, actually, I take that back. There's some people, I get messages from time to time where people will come into the coffee shop. There are so many podcasts out there. If you followed 5 people who have a consistent podcast, there is not enough time in your week, more than likely, unless you sit down full time and listen to podcasts to actually stay on top of it. So some do, but it's a small percentage.
Yeah. So I don't think I'm in danger of that, personally.
That's true. And you never travel, so I think you're probably safe.
Did I tell you I'm staying at Sean's this winter?
Sean's.
Coach Sean.
Oh, is he snowbirding?
I'm going to save up some money and then go travel.
Okay. Where are you going to travel to?
Probably Norway
Why Norway?
to start out.
First off, have you ever left? You've never left the U.S. We've covered
No.
this before. You've only left Montana one time.
That is not true.
It's under 5.
It's not, actually.
Bullshit.
I'm not bullshitting you. I can't recount to you the specific times, but I can guarantee you
Because it's under
over
5. Yeah, you were like an infant in a fucking baby carrier being traveled around. Probably trafficked, but that's a different podcast for a different time.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. We'll get Nick in here and talk about that.
So Norway, all right. I actually haven't been there. I've heard great things. Where else?
I do like Japan, but
Are you going to go to Norway and just continue on your travels, or are you going to do short stints back and forth?
I think I would do short stints, like week and a half.
It's going to be added travel cost with that. Once you get to Europe, European travel is actually very
That's true.
cheap. I would, if you're going to go to Norway, man, I would hit Greater Europe. I would go to the UK. I would go to Ireland. I would go to Scotland. I would go down to Italy, France, Switzerland, hit all that shit. Plus,
And then
a lot of them
go
have,
up towards Norway last, maybe.
doesn't matter where you were to start. Once you hit Europe proper, the rail system there too is unbelievable.
So good.
Yeah.
Also, something interesting. I found out that Shelton, my last name, is a little village in Norwich, England, UK, and had its own like manor, had its own church, and like those were actually my ancestors. So pretty cool. I'd like to go visit that.
Are you sure they were your ancestors? I feel like this is probably a coincidence.
No, so we have my grandma who married Mike Shelton. His cousins gave her a bunch of genealogy records, and you can trace from my grandpa back all the way to 1100 in Shelton, Norwich, UK.
That would be pretty dope. You should go do that.
So thinking about doing that. I think it's owned privately now, though, so I don't know if I'd be able to visit it.
I would have figured your family tree was a little bit more vertical than spread out, if you know what I'm saying. You know, just it's the initial thought that comes to my head.
Yeah, no.
I'll let you figure that one out on your own.
It's definitely possible. I mean, if we go back far enough, we're all related.
I don't know. I'm not an expert in ancestorology.
So they
whatever it's
say.
called. Yeah. All right. What else you got, Michael? What are your questions?
Okay, so I heard, now keep in mind, this is in grade school that I heard this. And I was a gullible person in grade school.
So far, nothing has changed. Tell me more. I have fooled you at least 100 times saying obviously untrue things, but I guess with a straight face and you buy it.
You haven't.
I have.
Give me an example.
Yesterday, I told you your jiu-jitsu was good. And you said thank you. And I was lying.
Damn it.
Remember when I said, hey, your escapes are really good?
Yeah,
Yeah, you didn't get out a single time.
that's true.
You didn't put 2 and 2 together on that, did you?
It's true. I recovered guard like a couple times.
Okay. Do you feel that we're being too hard on the white belts that come train at the AK space? Somebody that you and I both know that I may or may not be married to thinks that we are. She actually brought you up specifically. She said, Michael can survive. He's doing fine. But the other people, I look over and they're just getting smashed. And what I said to her was, for some of those people, if you don't dominate that position, they will freak the fuck out and hurt you.
I think there's a less chance of somebody hurting you or Denver when they freak out. First of all, because you guys are big.
That, and I keep my head away at this point. I have been kneed in the face, and every time that this has happened, it's me putting my face in a stupid spot, which is near their knee. And it almost always happens on the pass, kind of when you're on your side and you get popped right in the face.
Yep.
Or you're passing with your head lower and they bring a knee in to try to recover guard. So I just keep my head out of the way. I don't think it is size-wise. Well, at a certain point, because the levers are so long. But I'm not that much taller than you or the other people that we roll with. I just keep my head out of the way.
And when did we start? I was still a white belt when we started rolling, right? I think so.
Yeah, because I was a member of the gym just a little bit before you were.
And as far as I can remember, I never got hurt when we were rolling. Or I never...
With you and I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to hurt you. I would feel terrible hurting anybody.
Exactly.
Except for people that I want to hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do know what you're saying.
Because some people fucking write that check, and I'm more than happy to cash it.
Yeah. So I don't think it's horrible to give white belts, especially those that are extra prone to spazziness, give them a little bit more pressure.
Retards, if you will.
No, I didn't say that.
Full circle.
Come full circle.
Yeah. I'm not saying they have short necks. I'm just saying they're acting like retards on the mat.
Right.
Yeah. Fair. Okay. What was your question from grade school that you've been somehow sitting on and ruminating on since then?
Yeah, well, it just came up, or I just thought of it recently. But I heard from this girl that her dad was in some sort of military training. I don't remember which branch. She said that when you do grenade training, you pull the pin, let the spoon out, and hold it for 5 seconds and then throw it.
You could do that one time. You're going to be missing probably everything from your shoulder down, and your head's going to be fucking gone too. The average grenade fuse is going to be somewhere between 3 to 5 seconds.
Okay.
I can only speak to the grenade training that I have gone through, which was internally applied, but it is a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning you have one person who's going to throw a grenade and one person observing. And you do it in an area where, like I've seen videos of Army grenade training. There's a berm, like wall area trench that you are in, and then there's another trench that's dug in against that wall so you can sweep the grenade into it.
Oh.
And it is orchestrated, to say the least. You put the spoon of the... God, I wish I had a grenade here. It'd be so awesome. Not that I would throw it. Spoon of the grenade goes into the web of the hand to make sure that it doesn't fly off.
Yeah.
Because that's when the old egg timer starts.
Yeah.
You roll the pin out, yell grenade. I think the Army makes you go like this.
Yeah.
And like Heisman it.
Yeah.
You throw it, and then you get your ass on the ground.
Yeah.
So, yeah. A lot of people have creative... I don't understand why people have to add to some of the stuff that they do. Throwing grenades is cool enough. Let's just cook it for a little bit. What if you were going to cook it for 5 seconds and you get one that's on the 3 side of that spectrum?
Yeah.
That would suck balls.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's what's called a lie.
Yeah. Did you guys ever use grenades, or how often did you use grenades?
Infrequently. Grenades are far less effective than people would like to believe based off movies. First off, there's no massive fireball.
Yeah.
There's no fireball of any kind.
Yeah.
If you throw it into a room or out in an open field, it's like a big dust plume comes up. In the effectiveness of a grenade, I don't really have anything that I can show as a good example. You know how they're circular in nature, though? The kill radius of a grenade is calculated off if it's sitting upright, meaning the portion, the top where you pull the pin.
Oh, yeah.
So if it's laying on its side, half of the blast is going into the ground.
Right.
Furniture impacts it. I have thrown grenades into rooms thinking that there was going to be nothing but carnage, and everybody in there was just fine.
Interesting.
Which is unacceptable. So there's fragmentation grenades, and then there's thermobaric grenades, which are awesome. And they basically are an overpressure device that will absolutely flatten structures and turn people into jello.
Shit.
In an enclosed area. Not that they're safe on an open area, but you can throw them down tunnels. You can throw them inside of structures. You better get your ass out of that structure if you're going to throw a T-bomb in there, though. But infrequently. It's not a precise tool at all. But if somebody's shooting at you from a building and you throw a few in the window. That ain't bad.
Cool.
Yeah. I would not trust you to throw a grenade.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Yeah. Tell me about it. I can imagine you like pulling the pin, dropping it, and counting to 5, and just, okay, this is how we party now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a possibility for sure.
Yeah, for people who want to go on YouTube and watch grenade training exercises gone wrong, go ahead. There's plenty out there.
Plenty.
There's a reason why it's a 1-to-1, because the
Yeah.
other person is there to save your life when you fuck up.
Yeah.
What other questions do you have, Michael? We don't have to have a lot, even though I told you that today was going to be about you finally getting to participate and ask questions about Full Auto Friday. You've been at this for 2+ years. We've been doing this.
Yeah, I think it's 3.
What's been your favorite episode?
The favorite to sit down on was probably JT's. That was really fun.
Because he's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the virtual Blue Angels.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
I laughed more in that episode than I think any other one.
Okay.
One that stands out to me, both because it was the first one that I was here live, and because of the story, was Nick Lavery.
Yes. He's going to come out and do a book signing at the coffee shop in December.
Cool. Is it going to be on? Or who knows?
We'd be crazy not to.
Yeah.
His accent is rich and deep and
Indeed.
steeped in history.
History.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, that was probably, those two stand out to me. A lot of them, they blend together a lot for me.
Yeah, and you don't pay attention. I see you over there surfing the internet. What
Yeah.
are you usually looking at when we're talking?
Usually it's stuff related to the conversation. Like if you'll say something minor, and I'll just be like, oh, interesting, I'll look it up. And in the instance where you're like, hey, can you bring that up? I already have it there.
Yeah.
So it's just easy.
And then sometimes you're just over there probably playing virtual chess.
I'm actually in the virtual Blue Angels, and that's what I'm doing.
Instagram has targeted me with videos of people sitting in those full motion simulators.
They look pretty cool, honestly.
Yeah, if I had an extra 10G laying around, I would consider it.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think that includes the TV or the actual software itself. I think that's just the framework.
Yeah.
Didn't you used to work on airplanes?
Oh, I did. Yeah. Not anything major, just avionics.
Fuck, thank God. I would not trust an airplane that you worked
I wouldn't either, actually.
on. Just so you know, though, avionics is a massive and major portion of aircraft.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And there was a time, there were tons of times I made mistakes.
How'd you get into that?
So I went to community college for electronics for 2 years. And then right out of it, I went into that company. Super great people, good company. Just wasn't a lot of electronics to be done. It was more screwdriver turning.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Unless that was your jam.
No, it was not.
Then you upgraded to UPS.
UPS, yeah. And that, I actually really liked loading packages because it was 3 hours in the morning. You get full benefits. The pay wasn't horrible. They actually just got a raise.
What time did you start?
4:30.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah. So that was the downside. But then when I moved to supervisor, and dude, you want to talk about babysitting?
Yeah, I know. My oldest son worked there for a bit when he was still kind of working his way through the phase he was in, which he has made a ridiculous turnaround. Unrecognizable.
Dude, when he told me, he like smashed his computer.
With an
was
axe.
Like, fuck. Yeah, dude. Like, congratulations. That is awesome.
It's about 6 months ago. He literally is unrecognizable in so many ways. It's been awesome.
Yeah, and he's gained like 20 pounds or something. Like,
Oh, yeah. He weighs more than you for sure.
No, he doesn't.
I mean, you'd probably be able to beat his ass. Mm-hmm. Actually, I don't know. He might be a game time player. He might go code black.
He sees red.
Code black. Yeah, he just gonna shut off the central nervous system. He has what I feel like is more aggression than you. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being a lot of aggression, you're like a solid 1.25. It's okay.
That's okay. That's like my rolling, just chill rolling pace, you know.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I've never been in an actual fight.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I don't really want to, because the repercussions, there's so many things that could happen that you can't control. And it's like, if I happen to beat somebody and I hurt them somehow, well, now I have a lawsuit even though in this it would be a defensive situation.
Still have to work your way through it, though.
Through what?
The lawsuit.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because you were acting in self-defense doesn't mean they can't sue your ass.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You can win a fight and end up losing. You can win a fight, break your hand, and end up in the hospital right next to some asshole you just kicked the shit out of.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
No. And what if they have a knife? What if they have a gun?
Where's your gun?
Exactly. I don't conceal carry yet. I should.
Do you know how to fire a gun?
I do.
Who taught you?
My dad.
Wheel gun?
Yeah. It's that rotary one where you turn the crank.
That would be a Gatling gun. That's not you. God damn it!
What the hell's a wheel gun?
357 Magnum, Dirty Harry, 6-cylinder.
Is that the one where they, to reload, they cock the
That is a particular
lever
way that they shoot
and
those.
turn it
It's a
over?
cylindrical. It's a 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It has a cylinder.
yeah. You're not ready to carry a gun at all, Mister with a crank. Oh my God, that's like the old West version of the fucking Gatling gun.
I tow that behind my truck, my
Behind
car.
your Prius.
Yeah. What a sight that would be. A
Black
Prius.
Rifle made a Prius that had a minigun attached to it.
I think I saw that actually.
Yeah, they have a little bit more budget, I think, to play with than you and I do, though.
That maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
What should people know about the podcast that you don't think they know?
What should people know? It's, I guess I would say the whole process is more simple than you might expect.
It couldn't be simpler.
Yeah.
I actually don't know what steps that we would remove if we wanted to remove a step.
Yeah. Because, especially explaining, we were talking about this earlier, explaining to older relatives what a podcast is.
Oh, fuck.
I
Let alone
say,
how to listen to one.
yes. I go, well, it's a radio show that you can listen to anytime. And they kind of get it, you know? But I think it, for them thinking about it, it's like me thinking about, I don't know, some like quantum mechanics. Like I don't know. And I'm not saying that I'm like a genius, but I just have no clue where to even start. And so I feel like that's kind of the older generation.
I tell people that I work at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
It's the easiest answer that shuts down any follow-on questions, which is actually the goal of that answer.
Yes. I tell people, I do merchandising.
Yes.
Because
Who should people bitch to if they don't get their stuff on time? Let's talk about that.
Me.
Mm-hmm. Oftentimes you take 3 or 4 days before fulfilling orders. What do you have to say to the people about that?
It's not worth it to go in and fulfill 5 orders every day unless you want me to.
What if
I can.
What if they paid for expedited shipping?
Then once it gets shipped, they'll get it in like a day.
Okay. So you don't care. Is what we're getting at.
No, I care.
You don't care enough.
Okay. Well, I'll go in every day then and do it.
No, I don't give a shit what you do. I just think people should reach out to you directly if things are not getting there on time.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. How can people reach you, Michael?
I'm struggling with whether I should actually. Here's what I'll say: make a new email,
No.
and then
Just use your personal one, which I actually don't even know what the fuck it is.
no, you don't.
No. We've never emailed. Why would I email
yeah,
you?
why
I have
would
your
we?
phone number.
It's like snail mail. It's like carrier pigeon.
Sure.
Yeah.
In comparison to sending you a letter with postage stamp on it, it would be. What's your Instagram handle?
Michael.Shelton7. Yeah, that's a good way, actually.
Yeah.
DM me on Instagram.
With cockshots.
I got a few of those, actually.
You're
from
welcome.
From that one episode
Yeah.
forever ago.
You're welcome. And I'm sure you probably have them saved on your phone roll at some point in time. Yeah. Probably,
definitely.
probably your hidden folder. It's got to take the facial recognition to actually
You
let you
gotta
know
put
that
in
thing.
the passcode.
What else?
Yeah.
It's your one time to get to ask questions. We're never doing this again.
Never again.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, we'll see what the reception is on this. How about?
How long have we been going?
I don't know. What time did I get here? Like 2:10. So we're going 38 minutes.
Dipshit. It says it right on the road.
33 minutes. I was pretty close.
Are you sure you know how to use that fucking station that you're sitting at over there?
Honestly, not really. There's a lot of buttons over here.
I know, but you pushed about 3 of them to make one of these episodes happen.
Yeah, this one says applause. I'm going to push it.
Hit it.
It doesn't play anything.
You know why? Because you don't have it set up properly, and I'm not going to try to talk you through it.
No, I think
There's a volume control associated with that is not in the right position.
Oh, it is this one. Nope, this one.
Hit it. Don't go. Whoa! Slide that like. There you go. That's crickets. That's what I think about. What goes into your head when I ask you a question is that first button.
Wow, that was a really hearty round of applause.
What do the other buttons do?
This one does. Dude,
That's your post jiu-jitsu match soundtrack.
oh, that's hilarious. I'm gonna start implementing these in the.
All right, that's your
Okay,
average
okay.
joke.
Like magical
Harpsichord.
harpsichord, perhaps. Oh, record scratch.
Okay. Yep. Fuck yeah. Good. Why do they have those on there?
I don't know, but I really like them.
All right. Got one more question. Then we'll call it a day.
All right, let's see. Let me think here. If I was,
I mean, you have sat through hundreds of hours of conversations at this point. It might
Yeah.
actually be like 1,000, but
it's getting up there.
yeah.
Yeah, both before live. Yeah, because if we count before live, especially, like,
Yeah.
I was listening to every single one. And I still do, I guess. What other questions do I have? I know too much about you. I don't even care.
I don't either.
Oh,
Maybe that's the biggest secret, just not giving a fuck.
when I don't know if I want to ask this.
Well, now you know you have to. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah. When are you going to get your black belt, do you think? And who
Who?
will give it to you?
Oh, it would have to be Travis.
Okay.
I don't know, but I don't want that thing for a really long time.
Really?
I don't. I feel like my technical knowledge. So we're at the Origin camp, and we're hanging around people. Laborio, as an example, he gets his coral belt next year. He invited us to fucking Brazil, which we're going to try to go to get his coral belt from De La Riva, a guard I'm sure you've heard of before.
I have, indeed.
He is a student of De La Riva. And actually, there was Dedeco and Alexei at Origin Camp, also students of De La Riva. I think Dedeco is not that far off from his coral belt. Alexei, they all, like, you know the red bar on the belts? There's no more fucking space.
Yeah.
Their technical knowledge, understanding, and depth of knowledge of jiu-jitsu is fascinating to me. I do not want to ever, and this, I'm not right, wrong, or indifferent. This is the way that I personally feel about it. I don't feel like I ever should have a belt that's the same color as theirs. It's a really hard fucking measuring stick.
Yeah.
Even Leah, as an example, right? So my wife is a 2-stripe black belt, so that means she's been a black belt for a minimum of 6 years. I think she got her second stripe a year ago, so she's 2 years away from getting her third. She's been at it for years, 14 years, I believe. She teaches all the time. She competes. I don't feel like, I feel like I am a galactic distance from that goalpost.
That amount of knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully not for a couple years.
That's fair. I feel like practically, though, I know it's not supposed to be like about who you can beat and stuff, but practically you feel very strong.
Have you
And
considered that you might suck? And that's why you feel that way?
yeah, no, that's a good,
Yeah.
That could be.
Most likely is.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's probably a lack of skill and proficiency on your part
Yeah,
that makes you feel that way, would be my guess.
probably. I guess I just need to fight things harder, spaz out more.
Yeah. I don't know if you could do either of those
Just
things more, but
Just try and win every tiny engagement as hard as I can.
I support that. for longevity too and injury
Yeah,
prevention.
no, I think,
Yeah. No, the belts are weird. It's such a weird. For one, I think people care about it more than I do.
yeah, for sure.
I enjoy jiu-jitsu and I just want to continue to get better. That's my
exactly.
goal. In having say the true answer is I have absolutely no idea when it's going to happen. I really don't give a shit. It's not going to change anything about the approach that I have to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's tough being around people that are that knowledgeable and that skilled. It's a tough one for me. Personally, I don't feel like I'm anywhere close.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, kind of same thing. Like, I was super excited to get my purple belt,
Yeah.
But I was also like, it's literally just a marker. Like, it has no bearing.
Correct. I think that's the
good you
healthiest. I think that's the healthiest way to approach it. It's funny though. You listen to the conversations down in the changing room. The number of times I've heard people say, "Well, what do I need to do to get fill in the blank belt?" Versus the number of times I've heard people say, "Well, what should I do to just continuously get better?"
Yes.
There's a huge volume of people who are asking what they need to do to get their next belt, and a small group of people who are talking about what they should do to continuously get better. I think that's probably why a lot of people quit at blue belt.
Yeah, probably. Because it's like,
Well, you also realize, first off, hey, the belt around my waist has changed, and I'm still getting fucked up by everybody. Absolutely nothing has changed.
yeah, exactly. Well, and you're still gonna, that person you had trouble with when you were both 4-stripe white belt, but now you're a blue belt.
Yeah, the blue belt powers aren't real.
You're still gonna have trouble with that guy.
Guess what else isn't real? Purple belt powers.
No.
Brown belt powers. Black belt powers. You don't come in the next day version 2.0.
Exactly.
Same old
Exactly.
shit.
Like, we joke about it, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's like, literally, it's just a single mark on your timeline. Oh,
Yeah.
today I got this belt. But your progression is still a continual curve.
Hopefully, unless you quit like Nelson.
Unless you quit. Yeah, I haven't seen Nelson on the mats in a while.
It's because he hasn't been on the mats in a while. He's out there just asking for somebody to hand him his ass in his fucking UPS outfit. It's amazing how much the sheriff outfits do look like the UPS outfits for
I've
clarity.
never noticed, but I'm going to pay a little bit more attention now.
Well, you'll have to go find him because you're certainly not going to see him at the gym.
No.
What do you want to close it out with? Closing thoughts by Michelle Shelton.
Honestly, this is like really good job, and just appreciate it.
Do you have anything better to close with than that? It's
Nope.
powerfully gay.
I know.
Okay.
I am powerfully gay.
On that note, until next time.